B1 and B2 battle droids are the reinforced spine of the Separatist Army, and in order to celebrate Star Wars Month, we're going to talk about them. Luckily, Star Wars Legion recently released a brand new Separatist Starter Box, including all of the droids you could want to get started in Legion, including my favorite punching bags, the B1 battle droids, and their much tougher brothers, the B2 super battle droids. So in the first of what will be 2 painting tutorials focusing on the Separatist Starter Box, let me show you how I'd get these droids painted up so they can face off against Jedi scum. Thankfully, we've had a lot of sun this month, so I was able to take them outside for priming. For the B1s, I decided on Wraithbone as my primer color, as it is a close match to the pale beige material the Bactoid Combat Automata company manufactures them in. I left them outside to dry in the sun, and after an hour, it was time to get painting. Now, I like my B1s to look a little aged, sun-baked if you will, so I started by applying 1 thick coat of skeleton horde over the endoskeleton of each B1. If I could, I avoided the weapons they were carrying, but I knew that any splatter that got on their blasters wouldn't impact my final plan, so I didn't stress out if I wasn't the cleanest. Some models needed a second coat due to my paint running thin, but it was okay if they weren't all identical because of the highlighting they were going to receive. The skeleton horde had provided the sandstone stain I was looking for on my B1s, but it also made them way darker than I've ever seen them in media. So I had to find a way to bring back some highlights. My solution? Ivory tusk. This 2 thin coats paint is a very pale bleached bone color that I dry brushed each model with, which took some time. I was careful to not be too heavy-handed with my brush while doing this. If I was too heavy-handed because of how thin and fragile the B1s are, I could detach them from their bases if I wasn't careful. But thankfully I was careful, had 0 separations, and by the time I was done, the B1s were looking sharp. However, while I have seen B1s depicted this cleanly in animation, I am a fan of the dustier, more weathered look, so I carefully applied a light brown wash to all the B1s, ensuring I didn't overwhelm my highlights with too much shade. This wash did exactly what I wanted it to. Refreshed some of the shadows I lost during my dry brush step, and tinted the surface of the B1s ever so slightly to make them more in line with my vision of the droids. Having achieved the deep shadows and gritty look my Sith heart craved, I could turn my attention to their accessories and blasters.
Hey guys, it's just me and Shay here jumping into the video to remind you to hit that subscribe button, as well as to smash that like button if you've been enjoying the content with us today, because I really like having Shay on, and if you want to see her come back, you should definitely subscribe. Now, if you want even more content with us, you can check the links below. We have links to both our safe for work content, as well as our spicier content, so there's plenty for you to explore. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the video.
I used a super fast 2-step process that is my go-to technique for weapons and general equipment, and I think you will find it to be super easy as well. I started with a Basilicanum Gray contrast as a base on all of their blasters. You could also use something like Black Templar or any other dark heavy wash. The point is to achieve a dark undertone. Once the gray undercoat had dried, I moved on to the second step for the B1's gear and antenna, which I'd also based in gray. A dark iron dry brush. I gently coated all of their blasters' raised surfaces with a blush of the metallic, and shortly after, they were table ready. I decided I wanted to do something to help the lenses of the lead droid's binoculars to stand out. I decided a bright silver would be most accurate and quickly painted both recon boys up. Before I continued, I noticed the heavy weapons droid missile launcher also had a lens, so I painted it to match. The B1s are locked and loaded, and I love how they look, which means I can turn my attention to the big boys, the B2 series Super Battle Droids. While I primed their little brothers in Wraithbone, the Super Battle Droids instead got a base coat in a medium gray primer. I used the Army Painter's Uniform Gray, but you can use any gray or black primer you want due to the opaque metallic paint we'll be using later. Again, after giving them an hour or 2 to bake in the Cali sun, I brought them inside and up to the hobby desk to get started. Once at my desk, I applied a heavy black wash to the B2s. My focus at this step was to thoroughly darken all of the recesses on the sculpt. If the color dried a bit uneven on the surface, it didn't matter because just like with the B1's weapons, I was going to be dry brushing on a metallic once the wash had had plenty of time to dry. And man, they already looked so handsome after just this step, but they were not nearly reflective enough to stand out appropriately on the tabletop, which is why I pulled back out Dwarven Iron. I proceeded to use it to dry brush the entire model, and honestly, I felt like I was cheating with how fast painting the B2s was with this method. Of course, there isn't a lot of variety to their color palette to begin with, and yet I still felt like I was breaking a rule. And while they might be looking great, I'm not quite done with them. You see, my B2s were really handsome. Almost too handsome. They are dark side droids after all, and they needed to be less heroic and more grimdark to match their diabolical nature. In order to soften the shine of the metallic highlights, I finished the B2s exactly how I started them, with a black wash. Just like I had previously, I coated the entirety of each B2 miniature in a layer of dark tone wash. However, unlike the last time, this time I did mind how the wash flowed and dried, so I went slowly and was more careful about excess pooling. The wash had dried and it did look good, yet I still felt the model looked too clean. So I actually applied a second, final, thinner layer of black wash to everything, and once more let that dry. After which they were finally looking the way I had envisioned, dark, handsome, and menacing. With both the B1s and now the B2s complete, I want to talk to you about how I finished their bases. For both units of droids, I started with my favorite texture paint, Armageddon Dust. I used a straight angled brush to push the paint around the bases, making sure to thoroughly clean said brush as soon as I was done so it wouldn't get ruined by dried texture paint. Now, why do I like this paint over any others? Well, it all comes down to how easy it is to manipulate the color of. You see, because it's light, gritty, and very porous, this paint takes washes and then dry brushing afterwards exceptionally well. Which is exactly what I did after I gave the texture paint an entire night to fully dry. I applied a dark brown wash to the entirety of their bases to deepen the color of the dirt, and then again gave it about an hour to fully dry before moving on to a final dry brush highlight. For that highlight color, I turned to Talaran Sand, which is a close color match to the Armageddon Dust texture paint. But really, you can use any light brown of your choice to add highlights. It all depends on what kind of environment you want your figure to be standing in. The droids are 99% complete, but their bases are still missing my favorite finishing flair, plant life. However, sometimes when rimming the bases, after applying the tufts, I will get paint on the plants nearest to the edges. So to avoid that, this time I rimmed their bases first, before moving on to the plants. I really recommend using a painting handle or a cork stopper at this step. Really anything roundish you can use to mount your Mini-2 while rimming its base. It will make applying paint way easier and cleaner, I find. As for the tufting, I picked out a selection of dry desert plants with a hint of green, red, and yellow, which I really hoped would bring a pop of color to the finished squad. I decided how many grass tufts each base would get based on how much I liked the look of the dirt texture on the bases. Tufting everything took a bit of time, but I always get hyped during this step because when I'm finished, they are so satisfying to look at. Which we can look at mine now. And here they are, my B1s and my B2s. I absolutely love how these miniatures turned out, and I feel really guilty, as I said earlier in the video, about how quick and easy a lot of these guys were. I feel like I was cheating. I still kind of feel that way, and as we move into the next tutorial, I'm still gonna be feeling that way because our next painting subjects, outside of our B1s and B2s, the box set also included a couple of droidicas, and of course their leader, General Grievous. And the B1s were a particular focus for me in this particular painting tutorial because they are going to be the foundation of what I'm going to be doing on Grievous. They look very similar to each other, they often have a similar color tone, and so I was using this as a bit of practice before I got to General Grievous himself, and I'm so excited. He's gonna look so cool, these guys look so cool, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this Star Wars themed painting tutorial and that you'll be back for the next one. In the meantime, I want to give a final thank you to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel. Without you guys being here, I wouldn't be able to do this. We wouldn't be able to keep this channel going. So genuinely, thank you so much. And I've been really enjoying hanging out with everybody from those pages over on my Discord. So thank you guys for being so active and just so awesome and sharing your projects. I love seeing it. I love sharing my projects with you. And I hope to see you guys back next time as I'll be working on some more Separatists. But next time, Droidicas, General Grievous, it's gonna be awesome. Have a wonderful hobby night, everybody. See ya.